Hello, listeners. Welcome back to a first attempt filmcast. Today I'm joined again, like last week, by Trent, TV.
What's up?
We just got out of the theater from seeing the newest installment into the FAF franchise. It's called Spiral. And Spiral was released May 13th, which was, yesterday. So we got to be the first people on this platform to be covering this movie. It's directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, maybe, on a budget of $20 million. I don't know how much it has made. It came out yesterday. Hopefully it's making a lot. It made $13 for me. Stars Chris Rock, Max Minghella, Samuel L. Jackson, and Marisol Nichols. Yeah, so Spiral, it's a horror thriller. Obviously, it's in the Saw franchise. And to give you a little rundown of what this movie's about. Working in the shadow of his father, Detective Ezekiel Banks and his rookie partner take charge of an investigation into grisly murders that are eerily reminiscent of the city's gruesome past, a.k.a. Jigsaw. Unwittingly entrapped in a deepening mystery, Zeke finds himself at the center of the killer's morbid game. Sweet. Oh, let's go to some critic reviews if they're out yet.
No, they're definitely out. They see them earlier.
Oh, yeah, they see them earlier. That's what I usually go through. And we usually talk about Rotten Tomatoes. On Rotten Tomatoes, this movie has 39% with the critics. Wow. Haters, yeah. And then a 73% with the audience. Okay, I think that's a more fair score. And then Letterboxd, which I use, many other moviegoers use. Spiral, what does it have? What has it earned? 2.7 thus far. Okay, so Darren Lynn Bousman or Bousman, whatever, he's directed several other Saw movies. I see.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. So they went with a experienced director in the franchise. Interesting choice. Let's read some reviews to start out with. Oh my gosh, they're all rotten. I'm gonna read this review by Julian Roman of MovieWeb. Julian said, "Wait, isn't your family member named Julian?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Spiral is chock full of the hideous gore that fans expect from the Saw franchise. The pleasant surprise is Chris Rock's lead performance. I never thought I'd be laughing out loud in a Saw movie. What do you think of that?
Oh, nothing but facts that the beginning was kind of bad, but the ending was definitely facts. He was very funny.
He was funny, right? Will you read one of these negative reviews?
That one wasn't negative?
No. I mean, it was 2.5 out of 5.
How is that not negative?
Yeah, they said pleasant surprise. That doesn't sound too good. Oh my God, read this one.
Yeah, they did that name.
Okay, Dan Liebarger, maybe? Of Arkansas.
Democrat Gazette.
Yeah.
So he loves a grisly image or two, but nothing in Spiral is more interesting than the closing credits that follow it. Jeez. It's nice to know that several people at least got paid to slog through this irredeemable bloodbath.
Man.
Was he talking about the 21 Savage song? Because that song kind of sucked. I was very disappointed about that.
I was disappointed anytime they decided to just put rap or hip-hop music over the movie.
Really? I thought the song went pretty well with it. Because I don't think they overdid it. I mean...
No, I honestly, it was fine. No, I'm exaggerating. It was fine. It's an interesting choice for a horror movie.
I figured they're gonna do that once I heard that the 21 Savage was doing that last song. But Travis.
Oh, is that an original song?
Yeah, Travis Scott needed to be on that song. Or somebody. They needed a future really bad.
So do you agree more with the critics or the audience?
Audience.
Yeah.
Always. Screw the critics.
Yeah. Screw the critics. I'm going to go to this movie's Wikipedia page. Because there's a story behind it.
Oh, how Chris Rock
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's important to start it out with that. Wow, it's the 9th installment in the Saw film series.
9?
Yeah, and this director's 4th.
Since I'm a director, I'd like to do other things. Like doing the same thing over and over again feels would be boring. But I can't. Also, I'm not ever gonna be a director, so I can't really speak for them at all.
According to Chris Rock, the origins of the spiral came from a chance meeting with the vice chairman of Lionsgate at a friend's wedding in Brazil. And he felt doing something in the horror genre would be a new avenue to take in his career, though he planned to include some comedic elements in the film. Rock approached Lionsgate with the ideas of extending the franchise of Saw, who became very interested in the concept. Yeah, so this whole thing happened pretty much because of Chris Rock, right?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've never heard anything about the movie. Which makes sense. You could tell it had the Chris Rockisms all over it.
Have you seen the first one, the first Saw?
Sort of.
It says here, an early iteration of the script had Rock's character, Chris Rock, related to Danny Glover's character from the first film.
That's actually kind of interesting. But then he comes back 9 movies later.
Yeah, right.
Makes his own. I'd say he was definitely the best part of the movie. Which makes sense. It's
Chris Rock.
It's Chris Rock. But
he was comedy, man.
Yeah.
The opening scene just talking about Forrest Gump, man, that was funny.
Him talking about his wife.
We've all thought those things.
Funny enough, I've never seen Forrest Gump. I know what happens in it now, just because it's such an iconic movie, but I've never seen that movie. Don't plan on it, but I've never seen it. But it's definitely one of those movies that everybody just kind of knows the basic plot of it, so I can understand the jokes that he was making.
Yeah, it's sort of just ingrained in pop culture.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not having seen it though. I've seen that movie a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen the actual movie. I've even seen some pieces of it. Like if it's on a TV channel, and I flip through it, I'm like, oh, I'll sit and watch this for 2 minutes, and now I don't want to watch this anymore.
I just realized I can include in this episode's description or title that I'm joined by Trent of the Pointless Pod.
Pointless Podmaster. This guy's starring the voice in his head.
Okay, so you agree with the audience in this movie. So do I.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, critics are just... Especially in horror movies. Critics never give horror movies good scores. It's at the point now where it's like... You can't keep saying every horror movie's bad. Give them their own scale.
Yeah.
Stop comparing them to other movies. We know what we're getting. It's annoying. That's why I just don't... Critics just make me kind of mad. But it's their job.
This movie was kind of a cop horror movie. It's a cop movie set in the Saw universe.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got this knockoff Jigsaw, this torturer guy, going after cops. And his story is that his dad was killed by a dirty cop.
Oh, we're allowed to do spoilers?
Shit. This is a spoiler-full podcast.
We're add that tag at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody listens to it, listen like, should I go see that? Oh.
Yeah, my bad.
I don't know if we're doing it or not. That's why
I don't want to just explain the plot. That's pointless.
I was just making sure that we're allowed.
Yeah.
Before I said.
Yeah, but you can spoil it.
Okay. Just add the spoiler tag at the beginning.
Sure.
This episode contains spoilers for Saw or Jigsaw or Spiral. Jesus.
Spiral. I just realized why it's called Spiral. I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
So this whole time you're just kind of like, oh, that's a name. Kind of like Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Which we still don't know the answer to that question.
Mm-mm.
And they try to throw that line at the end. Rey Skywalker.
It's her. She's the Skywalker.
Okay.
Oh, wait, is Ben the Skywalker? They're all Skywalkers.
Technically he is. I guess the whole family is just incest. I don't know. Who knows?
Samuel L. Jackson is also in the movie.
What about that? Time out. Wait a minute.
What?
Yeah, she's a Skywalker now.
Well,
and she's chilling with...
She took that name.
Hey, step bro. That's all I'm hearing. Star Wars step bro.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Palpatine and Anakin's grandchildren
and kissed. Yeah. Well, if Leia is supposed to be like her adoptive mother, technically. Yeah, Ben's mom is Leia, for real. So, she adopted her. And then her and Ben. Oh yes. So Abrams might be watching a little too much of the Hub. He's adding the Step Bros to Star Wars.
Yeah. He's on the wrong side of the Hub.
I don't plug my vote in.
Samuel L. Jackson is in this movie, and he's in every movie.
I was about to say he's in every movie. Same catchphrase.
It's almost kind of comical when
Same catchphrase.
they finally reveal who Chris Rock's father is in the movie, his character.
I know from the trailer.
It's just Samuel. You knew from the trailer? I just saw Samuel L. Jackson's face on the wall, but with a mustache. They have to age him down, but...
That was actually pretty... They did a good job with that. The aging
What?
down.
Did they de-age him? I thought it was just the mustache.
I don't know if they just added the mustache, but it didn't. Like, sometimes in those movies you could tell, like, they just, okay, just give him a wig. Well, I mean, he doesn't have any hair. But they'll just be like,
Yeah.
if they have gray hair, okay, give him a wig.
Right.
That's good. But
Samuel L. Jackson, I think him playing different roles at different ages, he's pretty flexible.
He looks the same. So.
Yeah, he does. Okay, what can we get into?
Different people that could have been the killer.
Different people that could have been the killer.
I had a list throughout the whole movie.
They had us convinced for a while that it could be Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, he was on my list, but he was at the bottom. Because I was like, that's too obvious. There's no way it's just his dad.
Were you considering the young new cop?
Yeah, he was definitely on the list.
Even after he supposedly died?
That's when I took him off, because I didn't think they'd just bring him back. But I never believed that he actually had a family. It just didn't make any sense, the way he was talking about it. And then I kept thinking, like, he just had a bunch of, which they pointed out later, all the quotes that he had that were actually, like, pointing towards why he was the killer. Every time he said something like that, I was kind of like, what does that mean? Because there was a few of them where, like, they kind of, like, paused on him for a second. Or, like, after he said something, like, it would kind of cut, but there'd be a second in between. Like, or when they said, your dad's the reason, they never explained, like, why his dad would be the reason that he was doing everything. I was like, well, that's got to mean something. So
yeah. That's
why he was just kind of on the list, but... I thought it was going to be one of those other older guys, those older cops. Like the one that kept... My bad. Were you going to say?
No.
Oh. The one that was in, like, the suit, and he kept, like... The one that, like, when they were opening the box, he was with Zeke and with the captain. That guy. I don't know any other cops' names. No clue. But I thought that guy was the top of my list. I was like, that guy's in the movie a lot. And he's got no plot to him. Like, I'm pointing my finger at that guy. The one that Zeke punched. Because he thought it was his dad.
You think the character with no development would be the villain?
Yes.
That would be not cool.
Because I felt like he might have, like, some backstory that we didn't know about or something. I don't know.
And they explain it all in the end?
Yeah.
No, but it was pretty cool that in the end they reveal who the villain is, and then they show you some flashbacks and you realize, yeah, that makes sense.
I like the twist.
One thing is, though, so the reason this kid, this young cop, the reason he became what he is because his dad was shot in front of him by another cop. But you're telling me to seek revenge, he literally is capable of being this torturous murderer? That's pretty intense.
Yeah. But I mean, watching somebody that you're close to die when you're that young might just have skewed his mind forever. And then him seeing, like, these other jigsaws or saws, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
Like, maybe him seeing, like, them doing that, he's like, I could do that, and I can get my revenge. I don't know. Just play devil's advocate.
I know that actor from another favorite movie of mine. It's a comedy called The Internship, and it was hard to take him seriously for a while.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You seen that movie?
No, but I know what you mean, like, from that standard.
Did you recognize him?
No.
He did a good job, I think.
Yeah, I think most of the people in the movie did a good job. There was nobody in the movie where I was like, okay, why are you in this role?
Mm-hmm.
The only part I will say is at the beginning part where Chris Rock is arguing with the captain back and forth, that was just like an exposition dump. Because they were just explaining so much stuff about the plot, what was going to happen when they were yelling back and forth.
What were they saying?
At the very beginning, when she's like, just because your dad used to be the captain or whatever.
Oh.
But they just kept going back and forth explaining everything about the movie. I'm
right.
Like, yeah, well, I see what you're doing here, but it's like, yeah, you just said a lot of stuff about what's going to be important later. But
what do you think was the nastiest kill in that movie?
The tongue. I don't even,
the opening scene.
That was horrible. But
the fingers getting ripped off got me too.
That one wasn't as bad for me just because a lot of it was blocked off because it was in metal. The tongue one was just like you're seeing his tongue and you don't know if he's ever just gonna go just rip it off. Oh, I guess they
Rip
can't
it
see
off.
that. But there's always going to be that time where he's like, screw it. I'm just going to tear this thing off. And I was like, oh, God.
Oh, it's crazy that he gives him the choice. That's the whole
Yeah.
crazy intrigue of Saw. Going back to the first one when basically they reference in this movie, you're handcuffed to the pipe and there's a handsaw there.
Mhm.
Do you saw your hand off or do you...
Even the part where he just kind of looks at his hand and he's like, should I do this? And then he just sees
he was close to.
Yeah, then he just saw the tweezers or whatever.
Bobby pin.
Bobby pin.
Yeah, well, I don't understand why the bobby pin was there.
I think he put it there for him to see.
Gosh,
I think he did that on purpose.
That kill with the
glass.
The glass?
That was pretty bad too. They didn't show that.
Does that exist in factories?
That would be
big
horrible.
pipes that just blow glass.
I think it's because I don't know what they're actually supposed to blow out. But like all those bottles, cause at first I was like, is he gonna like burn them alive? But where's the glass come in? And then I was like, oh. Then I think I realized it like at the exact same time as Zeke in the movie where he's like, oh, because then I saw the bottle fall down. I'm like,
weirdly, I thought he was in such a shallow pit, but if he wasn't, I thought they were just gonna keep breaking bottles until the shards piled up around him in like a tub, and then I guess swimming in a pool of shards of glass would hurt. But what he got was
just as bad,
just as bad.
Worse.
Oh my gosh, the lady who had to decide between either falling back and piercing, severing her spinal cord,
the wax,
or getting wax dumped on her face,
being suffocated by hot wax. Wow.
Suffocated and burned.
Whew. But that was another good twist I liked, where he was like, when he said, like when they got the box that said, "I'm gonna distract you and go after your head" or whatever, I was like, that has something to do with the captain or with his dad. And then when he ran over to the cop that was like supposedly like attacked, but the killer just kind of ran away. That's when I was like, he's going after the captain because she's gonna be all by herself. And then sure enough, that's what happened. And that's also when I kind of realized for sure. I was like, it's definitely a cop. It's not somebody that's just like random, like mad at the cops. Because to get into the door or whatever, you'd have to know the codes. You have to be in there. I mean, just to get in the precinct, like obviously they know who you were, just to get down there.
Yeah, I took notice of that when he somehow got into the vault. He would have had to know the code.
It's kind of the funniest part about that is I don't know, maybe he was tracking her phone or Chris Rock's character's phone, but wasn't Chris Rock the one that texted her like go down to the thing, I got a lead, or did he text her that from his phone or something? Because he's like, go down to the cold cases or whatever and grab this file. And then that's how she gets trapped in the basement because she was going down there to see that. I don't know. Maybe
that's right.
Maybe I missed a part where like he texted her.
I might have missed that. But that explains why he knew she was going down there.
That would be tough if that's why he's the one that sent her down there.
Oh my gosh! One part that was a what the fuck moment. It was slightly funny, but just I don't know. It was just jarring. Is when there's footage of the cop. The cop pulls someone over. They stick up 2 middle fingers and he blasts them away. He
literally walked up to the car. Let me see your hands. Then the dude, he literally steps back for a second. He's like, It was just so unexpected. He's just
how angered was he?
You're dead.
Yeah, that part was just ridiculous. And my gosh, that climax when Sam Jackson is lifted up.
I wasn't even understanding it at first, but then when we started talking about the puppet, I was like, oh, and then I had to put the piece together. He's like, oh, he talked about there being a crazy shooter. And I was like, oh, that's why they just immediately like, oh, that guy's got a gun, kill him. But man, the whole Article 8 thing was a pretty good twist too, I thought. That I kind of figured that his dad was dirty just because of the way that they were portraying the whole precinct.
You're right. I should have thought more about that.
But I didn't know if they were gonna like actually kill him. And the way that he did it might have been like the most brutal way of all, because then he had to sit there and watch it, which is
yeah, firing squad had to take him out. It reminded me of Iron Man 2 when he's kind of geared up and he's not in control of his movement. And so he aimed. What did he aim at? The SWAT team.
You're talking about the part of the rodeo?
Oh, I'm talking about the Saw movie we just saw.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Iron Man 2. Oh, sorry, wait, what'd you say though?
what did he point at the Saw team? Not the Saw team, the SWAT team.
He had a gun, like a gun. In there.
Attached to the arm.
Because then like all the strings are like together, so I think it was like put in a way, and that's even like more brutal just because Zeke he literally hit the target whatever to save him, and then he ran over there to go beat up his partner. When really, if he would have just like unlocked his dad, like he was trying to before his dad's like go get that guy, then he could have.
You knew that. What's his name? You knew that the bad guy.
Wasn't it William or something?
William? Oh, Charlie was his fake son. His real dad.
I knew there was no way they actually had a son or a wife. It just didn't seem right.
That whole scene when the baby was crying over everything else was just too weird of sound editing.
Him mentioning them so often at such like just not times where it's like, why are you bringing them up now? It's like he was like overly trying to say like I've got a family.
Also, I know actors can be in different roles, but when in the comedy movie I did see with him in it, The Internship, he is a dickhead. So I understand why that's what he became in Saw.
I wonder. I highly doubt it, but I wonder if they'll ever think about doing a sequel. I don't think they will, just because the ending seems like the type of ending where you want it to be open ended, like what's gonna happen next.
But there's nowhere to bring this set of characters story.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I just mean, I don't even mean like bringing back even Chris Rock, just using him as the villain of going to like another precinct or something.
Yeah.
Sort of like what Knives Out's doing with whatever the detective guy's name is.
Daniel Craig. Yeah.
Yeah.
The character.
Having just like that character have like a whole new cast, like having this villain, or maybe even I don't know something like it. Maybe even Chris Rock was another precinct, and then he has to fight another without getting crazy. He has to fight another Saw villain. But I don't know. It'd be fun.
The sequels always get more ridiculous, and you can almost see this one as a little bit of a reboot. But I know they all have new characters, right?
The fact that it's almost like it's got a new name and everything, I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe we might want to have this be like a soft reboot, like
Spiral.
Now you're gonna start getting spirals instead of saws. I don't know, but I mean, I wouldn't be. I hope that they don't like try to continue this story because I thought it ended really well. Not well. I mean, it was really open ended.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like a decent horror movie ending.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be mad if they wanted to have some more spiral movies, which I think they will, just because I think it's going to make enough money to warrant.
There was no way in hell that the bad guy was going to let Sam Jackson's character walk.
No,
because he oversaw all of the corruption in his police precinct.
And then it was his fault that he had to watch his dad die too. So it's like I figured there was another plan. I thought he was just going to like still bleed out, but then as he started like getting lifted up, I'm like, oh, he's the puppet again. But that whole setup at the beginning was like, your dad's the reason I'm doing all this. It's like that's a real. I thought that was a really nice tie-in. Because I mean, he was the reason he did all this.
Instead of a jigsaw mask, this guy he wore the pig mask, and that was his whole.
At first, I didn't get the pig thing. I was like, oh, I get it now.
I didn't get it at first either.
Pigs. I was like, what? Because
it's just grotesque, you know.
All I could think of was, are they like making a play on Professor Pig from Batman? And then I was like, oh. Never mind.
Apparently, I didn't catch on to anything.
That's a lot more obvious.
Spiral. Then I didn't understand why it was called Spiral. I don't know why. You know how many times they showed a spiral on screen? Many times. What do you think of the signature editing trick that these Saw movies use, where it like fast forwards really quickly through the?
Oh, I thought it was really cool in the movie. The way they used it.
You liked it?
Yeah. I thought they used it at really good times. Flipping back and forth but like the way that they flipped it, I thought looked pretty cool during the scenes where people were being tortured / murdered / given a choice to live live not as happily or not as the same, I guess I should say. Yeah, I like that they were pretty creative with the new ways too. They didn't just rehash a bunch of the old ones.
The new methods of like.
Yeah.
Of murder.
And he also tied him into like, oh, you were lying on the stand, so I'm gonna take your tongue. Like
yeah, for sure. It reminded me of. Oh wait, now I'm kind of copying what Chris Stuckman says in his review, but I did think of this on my own. It reminds me of Seven. Have you heard of Seven?
Yeah.
Where they represent the 7 deadly sins. Mm-hmm. Like the guy who represents sort of like sloth, the lazy one. He dies by like eating maybe or something. I don't know. He's just some big fat guy.
Movie. I just know what it is.
And the frickin' what's another deadly sin related to sex or something like
lust.
Lust, yeah. That guy, I think he gets killed in bed and they like torture his cock and balls.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah. So what were we getting at? Oh, yeah. You said they took out his tongue because he lies, and then the man who... What's another example of...
I'm trying to think about, what was the fingers one?
The fingers.
Why did he lose his fingers?
Didn't he have his hand on a gun and he
he
shot somebody?
Yeah.
But they all shot somebody, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for not getting too creative on that one. Because it's like, that guy did just walk up to a dude and shoot him. I don't even care. Anything about that scene is just so funny. Because, like, you could kind of see it coming, like, that's where that was going. But the way that he just pulled out the gun and just shot the dude for no reason.
I know. I know. It was funny. And then they said... Cops shoot, ask questions later. You've told me that so many times.
In Fortnite.
Yeah, in Fortnite.
Shoot first, ask questions later. That's why I started laughing at that part.
Yeah.
We said that in Fortnite, then the cops are like, yeah, let's do this in real life.
God.
Shoot the people, ask questions later.
That's what these cops were up to.
Oh, God. What was the back one? Like, she was, like, the backbone of the... Like,
the captain?
Yeah. Was it? I don't know. That's just kind of.
How do you connect? Her.
There's a spinal cord, so maybe she was like the spine of the whole operation. I don't know,
I mean,
like that.
That's a good reading. I'm gonna make a bad joke, but just it seems like Saw is low-key trying to make some commentary on like police corruption.
I mean, Chris Rock wrote it, so not wrote it, but
yeah,
like,
you're right.
Yeah, so possibly.
I wish I knew names. I should have just pulled them up, but the bad guy, you know.
Wasn't it William? I feel like it was.
Am I on there? Oh, here it is. Yeah, William.
Hey.
Sorry.
Oh,
You
right.
kept trying to tell me it was William.
I thought it was
But William, he's trying to solve like a systemic problem in his precinct.
I think he literally even keeps saying system, or he says something along the lines of that. Like, we could stop this whole, we could save the whole system or stop this whole system. Which, I mean, it's almost like that Thanos thing where it's like, yeah, well, you got the right idea, but it's executing it in the best way.
No.
Like, killing people to save people.
And it was super personal for him, right?
Yeah.
Wait, was it personal for Thanos? Did his planet kind of go extinct because there weren't enough resources for everyone?
That was the whole thing, because he said, we need to do this. And if we don't, it's gonna our planet's gonna die. And then they didn't do it, and the planet died. And then he said, I'm not gonna let this happen again. So
before the snap, Thanos would just go planet to planet and do the 50% genocide himself, right?
With the Chitauri.
That's right.
They showed it like Gamora's. I think that's the only time they showed it. But yeah.
I feel bad this movie's getting slandered. You're right. They need to be.
It's the horror movie. Man. Horror movies always get horror movies always get slandered for no reason. Man. That's why even to the point where like a superhero or like not supposed to be like what's the movie I'm thinking of? Not every movie is gonna be The Godfather, and I feel like every movie is compared the same, which I don't think should be. I don't think that should be the thing.
Like say 100 is The Godfather. It's like, of course all these horror films that come out year to year, they're nowhere near 100, but don't call them 30s.
No. There should be a different scale.
Yeah.
And, I get people saying, oh, the Academy and all, this movie is film, but I don't want to watch any of those movies. I'm sorry. I don't care. I want to watch Spiral. I want to watch The Avengers. I don't want to watch The Godfather. I don't think I will ever watch The Godfather. But everything's compared to those Academy Award-winning, the Academy picks these for Best Picture type movies, besides, well, I mean... Not all of them are like that. Parasite. Parasite.
It really is interesting that the same critics who review Scorsese's new film are the ones watching Spiral and just shitting on it.
And especially for a thing that's so opinion based or subjective,
right?
It's almost like saying 21 Savage's song is nothing compared to Michael Jackson. It's like, huh? How are you gonna compare that?
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense. So I don't know.
Like the Mona Lisa's already been painted, but your new painting could be.
Oh, that graffiti over there sucks. It's like, they're okay. Sure. I don't know. It's just a lot of these things that are a lot of these art things, I guess is the best way to group them, are so subjective, and I feel like people get too attached to their opinions and not realizing that there's something for everybody out there. It's different with sports where it's okay, there's stats and facts that you could put in your argument to prove this is why this is better. But there's no plausible way to actually factually explain why Endgame is better than Infinity War, or why Spiral is worse than The Godfather. Like, it's just your opinion. And that's why I think some of the critics, either they should group the critics, you do horror movies, you do event or superhero movies or whatever, or there should be a scale of, compared to this horror movie, this is this, compared to this drama, this is this. But yeah,
I think for Spiral they should have hired someone besides the guy who directed
I didn't know they did that.
3 other Saw movies.
I mean, he did a decent job, but I thought it was somebody new, which I would have liked to see.
Yeah, I would have liked to see as well. Not that I've even been through all the Saw movies, but I'm just gonna assume.
Just the way that everybody kind of says, "Oh, this is just a rehash of this." Or this.
Yeah.
It's like, well, get some fresh. Like, this is a fresh take.
If it's a fresh take, why bring this guy back? Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they
honestly next time just have Chris Rock in a different reality. Have Chris Rock direct this.
I kind of thought that he was.
Yeah.
And they just kind of had other people there, but I don't know.
And I see he doesn't get a writing credit, which I'm not saying he deserves it. But he came up with the idea and the story.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what I put together from all those stories. Like, he kind of had the idea. I mean, I get why he doesn't have a writing credit if he didn't like write down the script or whatever. But I don't know. I guess there's no such thing as idea inspired by credit. But I definitely think he deserves a lot, especially since he kind of carried the movie. Not carried, but he was the best part of it.
You got to think they definitely just write roles for Sam Jackson out and bring it to him. And they're you're playing this character. You say motherfucker.
Every character he plays, it's like he's such a good actor because he could play the same character over and over again, and you still see that character. It's not like you don't see like in the preview before, you don't see the guy from Hitman's Bodyguard as this same character, but it's like the same dude basically. Or you don't see Nick Fury when you're watching this movie, but I mean, that hard-nosed old guy.
Samuel L. Jackson.
He plays the same character over and over again.
Yeah.
You always see somebody.
But no character will ever be bigger than him. You know.
No, he's always gonna be great in everything he does.
Just think, when he passes away, which will be a sad day, but when he does, there's gonna be a YouTube video compiling every motherfucker he's ever said.
And that's why it's just so sad. It's like, man, we're gonna miss out with like the moment of like Chadwick Boseman like being like the next Samuel L. Jackson, like the guy that's just in everything, because that's where it's kind of headed with him. But on a happier note, I'm super excited to see Samuel L. Jackson finally get his own Marvel Well, I mean, he kind of had in Captain Marvel because he was definitely the best part of that movie, even though he wasn't the main character. But Secret Invasion is starting to get a lot of starting to pick up some steam. It seems like getting a lot of people in there, getting some directors. I'm excited to see him in that, get his own thing in Marvel. Just speaking of Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And Don Cheadle.
It's also weird seeing him as War Machine.
We need Chris Rock in the MCU now.
I love like all those alternate things where it's like in an alternate reality, you got Tom Cruise as Iron Man, Chris Rock as War Machine, like all those. You got whoever as Captain
Honestly,
America.
Chris Rock, you brought up a point in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode we recorded that you don't see Don Cheadle's Rhodey getting along much with Tony.
Doesn't make any sense.
I think Chris Rock as Rhodey would have been
a
good choice.
Well, I think Terrence Howard was like the perfect guy, but like that whole, I mean, we got what we got. And Don Cheadle's not bad in the role at all. It's just like you never really see him as the guy that's like, yeah, he's gonna be friends with the party guy. Don Cheadle's always just like Don Cheadle. Like we all know Don Cheadle.
Oh yeah.
And it's like Don Cheadle and RDJ is best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Even though RDJ is like the most rebellious guy ever, it's like, especially with the character that Rhodey is, it's like, I don't know. Well, Terrence Howard could see it more. I feel like, even though Rhodey's great, lately he has been. There was a point where it's kind of like, well, what is he here for?
Rhodey?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was along for the ride.
He's really good in that game, though, I feel like.
Mm-hmm, he was.
He was strayed really far away from Spiral. We're talking about Rhodey in Endgame.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for his series, too, speaking of other Marvel Disney Plus series, since everybody gets one. Mine's coming up next.
Yours?
Everybody gets one.
Everyone gets one.
Black Panther. They couldn't decide who to get one in Black Panther. They said Wakanda, you get one. the whole country.
Oh, Wakanda forever.
No, Wakanda the series.
Is there gonna be Wakanda the series?
There's gonna be a Wakanda series. Nobody really knows what it's about, but
there should be a Captain Wakanda.
A Captain Wakanda.
Could be Bucky.
Captain Africa, the White Wolf.
I
feel like people would not like if Bucky was Captain Wakanda.
The one white guy that lives in Wakanda.
That's there is the captain.
He's basically the cop.
Imagine. That would not make people happy.
I don't think people would be happy if they even gave him a suit that was like reminiscent of the Black Panther but white.
I saw somebody say, "Well, what if they just make Bucky the next Black Panther?" I'm like, God. That would not go over well with a lot of people.
I think there would be riots.
There would be riots everywhere, and
for good reason. That's kind of a dumbass choice.
The whole world would kind of be mad at Marvel for that one. Bucky was the new Black Panther. He couldn't even be the new Captain America.
No. Okay, so Spiral.
Yeah, back to Spiral. Marvel takes over everything.
Yes, it does. You're not conversation here.
It's because every actor's in it.
Yeah, it's easy to get there. Spiral. There were other things I wanted to mention about Spiral.
I was trying to formulate my ideas in my brain on the way back to doing this. But,
we're too tired. We're recording right now, and it's 12:33 a.m.
I'm not even tired. I just lost all my trains of thought. I mean, the main thing I want to talk about was all the people that I thought could have been it. Oh, I definitely had the captain on that list too until she died. So
I could see
she got taken off.
A female antagonist it's always trendy.
I just thought her because I was like, well, she seems like she's not as corrupt, which we found out later was not true. But I was like, well, maybe she's trying to locally help out.
She was one of the worst, right? She was there with
she helped Daddy-O do Article 8 or whatever it was
Article
called.
8, that's it. It was a piece of legislation that was just
kill people.
Everyone else, kill people. What'd they say? The streets got messier, and they're like the dirty cops will help clean them up.
Something like that.
Yeah, there was a line.
So yeah, I mean that's where you get the Thanos villain type of thing to go back to Marvel again. Or it's you can kind of see where the villain's coming from, but I mean the way that he went about dealing with this was not right. But yeah, those cops, all of them were definitely dirty, except for Zeke.
I just had a thought. I'm pretty sure Chris Rock plays a cop in another series.
I'm sure. He's in so much stuff.
I think it's Fargo, even though I know that's a movie.
No clue.
This didn't even have to be set in the Saw universe, honestly.
No. I get why they did it, but they could have just made this a completely different thing, not even talking about Saw at all.
But then they couldn't have the cool traps, or else people would say it's a ripoff of Saw.
I was gonna say it would look like a ripoff, but I don't know.
But the premise of someone was kind of wronged by the cops of this police department, and so they're gonna get revenge on the cops. I don't know. It could work.
Well, I think it almost might be sort of I mean, this is the best comparison I think of. Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, where, I mean, it's literally the same thing, but they kind of rebooted it, soft reboot. It takes place in the same universe, but they never really mention Jurassic Park all that much anymore.
Yeah.
It's a whole new thing. Maybe they'll do something like that with Spiral.
With a hot star,
Yeah, Chris Pratt and Chris Rock.
Yeah, Chris Pratt and Chris Rock. I mean,
Chris's.
they're dinosaur movie, but let's get Chris Pratt. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's cool.
That's the one thing where it's I don't know how they could continue out with Chris Rock's character, just because it seems like his story's kind of done. I don't really know where you go from here, but I think William's character is the one where you could be he's gonna get he got away, so he's out there, and he's crazy. And he kills people. So sequel. Let's go.
I'm wondering if I ask you what you would give Spiral out of 5, 5-star rating. What comes to mind first?
Compared to The Godfather, it's a good 0. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
On a real horror movie scale, out of 5.
You don't have to say horror movie, just movies you like and.
No, I was really just making that joke about earlier.
Oh yeah.
We're doing decimals.
You can do halves. Halves.
4.
4?
3.5.
Nice.
In between there.
Nice.
I mean, for what it is, it's good for what it is. It's not. It's just supposed to be entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even that long. How long is it? It's not even that long.
Hour and a half.
I thought that was.
I always appreciate
I thought the wrong time was perfect.
It didn't feel too short.
Because it didn't. The pacing was perfect. The pacing is what I was looking for. Not the long time.
Yeah. It was. It really
didn't
was.
feel like it was really short, but it also didn't feel like it was like dragging on. Like I feel like they got to the points that they needed to get to when they needed to get to them.
Maybe I shouldn't give them too much credit for this, but I thought the way they spliced scenes together, it was done well. They didn't always show the murder and then like
I really like that
have
too.
people find out about it. Sometimes
They just went
you
back.
realize someone died
Mm-hmm.
and you see the aftermath and then you find out what happens. I think it's kind of cool because you know how bad it's gonna get,
Mm-hmm.
but you see where they're at from the start. So you see the guy wake up and binded, and then you know he's gonna get freaking skinned. I can't believe he went so far as to tattoo a corpse to like trick people. Got out the tattoo gun.
Really is it? Oh, like basically for like what you said, there's a part where I thought that they were gonna kind of do that. I was like, well, this is gonna get kind of like video game redundant, where it's like we're going to the next level.
Yeah.
And then they didn't do that. I was like, okay, that's cool. And even like sort of similar to that, like them showing like flashbacks of like the earlier like doings of the precinct with like him snitching on his partner or like him getting shot. I thought they did a good job of like filling those in instead of just having like one really long scene of like this is what happened back whenever.
Yeah, it allowed you to actually be interested in kind of the just normal happenings.
Like oh sorry.
No.
I was gonna say there was never a point in the movie where it's like, okay, I'm bored.
Same. I was
That's
gonna
why
get into that.
The pacing I think was just so.
I think
perfect.
worst case scenario, the traps and the killings are still cool. I think they're always gonna be done well. I mean, it's not hard to pull off a good gore
Murder.
good murder. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun to watch. I mean, as sick as it sounds.
I mean, that's what the world is. I mean, we got Call of Duty out here killing people. Fortnite,
Yeah, man.
Fortnite made for
Dope.
kids, killing people.
Sure, it's all
All these horror
killing
movies,
people.
killing people.
Go play outside, guys.
Yeah, honestly. Go play basketball.
Yeah. So worst case scenario, the only good part would be the horror scenes and the human bullshit. I keep saying human as if the other stuff's like alien, but you know, like, just like the regular drama.
Yeah.
Stuff.
I thought they did a good job with it though.
Yeah, they did a good job. I was
Normally the
interested.
story is the part you're like, what is this? I liked William's character and what they did with that.
And it's interesting to have a movie theater experience where you're cringing and wincing, and then next scene you're kind of laughing.
You're laughing at Chris Rock talking about his wife and the other dude's
Oh
wife.
my God, he's like, said, what'd he say?
With the counselor.
Yeah, he said, oh, that whole sequence was comedy gold. When he said Pilates doesn't even exist, it's basically just a cover up for women who cheat all day.
He's like, my wife does Pilates. Or
He said,
what did he say? Sarah loves Pilates or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure she does.
I'm sure she does. He said, you can get away with a lot of cheating during the day, a lot of things during the day. And then he said, he put it this way, he said, you can do a lot of dicking before dusk.
He said writing.
A lot of writing before dusk, I don't know. Dick and dusk, come on.
That was comedian. That was like prime comedian Chris Rock just going at it.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Okay, this is really dumb. If you were to replace Chris Rock in Spiral with any other grown up, which guy are you going with?
Kevin Hart, probably.
Okay, by grown up I meant a star in the movie Grown Ups.
Oh.
Which one of the friend group? Spade.
Well, I guess we'd have to change I guess we'd have to take out Samuel L. Jackson for that.
Yeah, what do you replace him
Remember
with?
Daddy Samuel? I mean, unless something got really crazy. No, he could just be adopted.
Yeah.
Adopted. I'm not saying Adam Sandler. I just don't see him doing that. If Adam Sandler did a Saw movie, it's almost hard to take Chris Rock seriously doing this.
Adam Sandler, he's never doing a horror movie.
way I could take him seriously.
Actually, maybe he will.
I think he is, but then I'm not taking it serious. It's almost Kevin James, same way. I don't even know. Schneider, no way. Nope. Shaq. Screw Shaq.
Schneider.
Shaq. I don't even know.
Oh, Shaq, yes.
Not gonna be, what's his face, Nick Swarsden or whatever. Not him. He's never,
Oh God, was he in Grown Ups too?
Yeah, he's never serious.
No.
I saw somebody point out the other day that Adam Sandler's like the Dr. Dre of Hollywood, because he just gets his buddies and gets a bunch of people and makes them famous.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody he always has his name attached to everything, and if his name's attached to it, and he also just has so much clout. Because then in like these little movies like Jack and Jill, you got Al Pacino chilling, which I was like, dang, that's like a god tier comparison, because it's just Drew.
Oh, this movie's called Spiral from the Book of Saw. I didn't know it had that exact subtitle. Did you realize that?
I saw it, but I didn't know if they were just saying Spiral Saw just to make it easier. Or changing it around like that Harley Quinn movie did. Birds of Prey. The Fantabulous blah 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 Harley Quinn. Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn. The movie
They had to rename it.
They renamed
no
it
one
like
wants
8
to see
times.
Birds of Prey, but Harley Quinn.
I don't know. That was probably like the second best DC movie, even though it didn't get the love it deserved.
They should just title it Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn.
Well, yeah, that everybody would have watched it if they just Margot Robbie the movie. Margot Robbie and Harley Quinn paint the movie.
Guess how old Chris Rock is?
51.
56.
Jeez.
Guess how old Samuel L. Jackson is?
Like 79.
72.
Dang, I got a little too high that time.
I thought he was.
I thought he was getting close to 80.
Me too. He looks amazing for his age.
Yeah.
Okay, we can wrap it up. So, we got Saw. No, it's not Saw. Spiral from the Book of Saw. There's a book? There's a book of Saw?
How to put all the traps together to kill people if you ever need it. Just
oh my gosh, that'd be. If anyone buys that from Amazon, the FBI needs to go investigate.
They're probably gonna put one out there. Just you're on the list. We're watching you. Imagine actually, is it like a jigsaw killer in real life? As I see this, like, I think it was me an idea. I had some trauma when I was a kid, and I'm gonna start torturing other people that I think have to do with it.
All right, well, that's all we got for today. You could find our Twitter at AttemptCast, our Instagram at, is it First Attempt Cast? It might be First Attempt Cast. You could find...
If it's some random guy, then ignore that.
Yeah, ignore that.
Or talk to him. See what... Tell
him
about the podcast.
Yeah, tell him about the podcast. But don't talk to strangers. Unless you're telling them about the podcast.
Or trying to give them candy.
You could find TV at Pointless... Right?
The Pointless Pod.
The Pointless Pod. And on TikTok at The Pointless... Go find the TikTok because...
The Pointless Talk.
The Pointless Talk has one TikTok and it's me, your host, Jaden.
We had a guest appearance.
Yeah. And remember, I don't know. May the force be with you always.
And go Lakers.
Trent, thanks for joining the pod again.
Anytime. We gotta do the voice in my head on this time. On this next time.
Can you stand in for Mo? Wait, voice in the head? Yeah, where's the voice in the head?
I don't know.
The voice in the head was at the movies with us. Trent has a voice in his head. He was at the movies with us, and he was shook by Saw. I don't think he's ever seen a Saw movie.
No.
And he didn't... I got up.
I don't think he knew what he was expecting.
No, because I got up and walked. I got up to walk out of the theater, and his jaw was drooping.
I didn't see that. Oh, voice in my head.
He doesn't want us to cut through our chains. He wants us to cut through our feet.
What?
That's from the first Saw.
Oh.
So Trent, do you want to play a game? E.T. Phone Home.
Hard cut.